Few realize that even at the present stage of civilization in this world, there are souls who, like the priests of the ancient temples, walk the earth and watch and guard the sacred fires that burn upon the altar of humanity. Purified ones they are, who have renounced the life of this sphere in order to guard and protect the flame, that spiritual principle in man, now hidden beneath the ruins of his fallen temple. As we think of the nations that are past, of Greece and Rome, and the grandeur that was Egypt, we sigh as we recall the story of their fall. And we watch the nations of today, not knowing which will be the next to draw its shroud around itself and join that great ghostly file of peoples that are dead. But everywhere, even in the rise and fall of nations, we see through the haze of materiality, justice. Everywhere we see the reward, not of man, but of the invincible one, the eternal flame. A great hand reaches out from the unseen and regulates the affairs of man. It reaches out from that great spiritual flame which nourishes all created things, the never-dying fire that burns on the sacred altar of the cosmos, that great fire which is the Spirit of God. If we turn again to the races now dead, we shall, if we look, find the cause of their destruction. The light had gone out. When the flame within the body is withdrawn, the body is dead. When the light was taken from the altar, the temple was no longer the dwelling place of a living God. Degeneracy, lust and passion, hates and fears crept into the souls of Greece and Rome, and black magic overshadowed Egypt. The light upon the altar grew weaker and weaker. The priests lost the word, the name of the flame. Little by little the flame flickered out, and as the last spark grew cold, a mighty nation died, buried beneath the dead ashes of its own spiritual fire. But the flame did not die. Like spirit of which it is the essence, it cannot die, because it is life, and life cannot cease to be. In some wilderness of land or sea it rested once again, and there rose a mighty nation around that flame. So history goes on through the ages. As long as a people are true to the flame, it remains. But when they cease to nourish it with their lives, it goes on to other lands and other worlds. Those who worship this flame are now called heathens. Little do we realize that we are heathen ourselves until we are baptized of the Holy Spirit, which is fire, for fire is light, and the children of the flame are the sons of light, even as God is light. There are those who have for ages labored with man to help him to kindle within himself this spark, which is his divine birthright. It is these who by their lives of self-sacrifice and service have awakened and tended this fire, and who through ages of study have learned the mystery it contained, that we now call the initiates of the flame. For ages they have labored with mankind to help him to uncover the light within himself, and on the pages of history they have left their seal, the seal of fire. Unhonored and unsung, they have labored with humanity, and now their lives are used as fairy stories to amuse children. But the time will yet come when the world shall know the work they did, and realize that our present civilization is raised upon the shoulders of the mighty demigods of the past. We stand as Faust stood, with all our law, a fool no wiser than before, because we refuse to take the truths they gave us and the evidence of their experiences. Let us honor these sons of the flame, not by words, but by so living that their sacrifice shall not be in vain. They have shown us the way. They have led man to the gateway of the unknown, and there in their robes of glory passed behind the veil. Their lives were the key to their wisdom, as it must always be. They have gone, but in history they stand, milestones on the road of human progress. Let us watch these mighty ones as they pass silently by. First, Orpheus, playing upon the seven-stringed lyre of his own being, the music of the spheres. Then Hermes, the thrice greatest, with his emerald tablet of divine revelation. Through the shades of the past, we dimly see Krishna, the Illuminated, who on the battlefield of life taught man the mysteries of his own soul. Then we see the sublime Buddha, his yellow robe not half so glorious as the heart it covered, and our dear Master, the man Jesus, his head surrounded with a halo of golden flame, and his brow serene with the calm of mastery. Then Mohammed, Zoroaster, Confucius, Odin, and Moses, and others no less worthy passed by before the eyes of the student. They were the sons of flame. From the flame they came, and to the flame they have returned. To us they beckon and bid us join them, and in our robes of self-earned glory to serve the flame they love. They were without creed or clan. They served but the one great ideal. From the same place they all came, and to the same place they have returned. There was no superiority there. Hand in hand they labor for humanity. Each loves the other, for the power that has made them masters has shown them the brotherhood of all life. This is the great thread, the spiritual thread, the thread of living fire that winds in and out through all religions and binds them together with a mutual ideal and mutual needs. In the story of the Grail and the legends of King Arthur, we find that thread wound around the table of the king and the temple of Mount Salvar. This same thread of life that passes through the roses of the Rosicrucians winds among the petals of the lotus and among the temple pillars of Luxor. There is but one religion in all the world, and that is the worship of God, the spiritual flame of the universe. Under many names he is known in all lands, but as Iswari or Ammon or God, he is the same, the creator of the universe, and fire is his universal symbol. We are the flame-born sons of God, thrown out as sparks from the wheels of the infinite. Around this flame we have built forms that have hidden our light, but as students we are increasing this light by love and service until it shall again proclaim us sons of the eternal. Within us burns that flame, and before its altar the lower man must bow, a faithful servant of the higher. When he serves the flame he grows, and the light grows until he takes his place with the true initiates of the universe, those who have given all to the infinite in the name of the flame within. Let us find this flame and also serve it, realizing that it is in all created things, that all are one because all are part of that eternal flame, the fire of spirit, the life and power of the universe. In his seminal work, Initiates of the Flame, Manly P. Hall crafts an intricate tapestry of spiritual symbolism and wisdom that captures the essence of human civilization's ebb and flow through history. At the heart of this allegorical landscape lies the sacred flame, a metaphorical construct symbolizing the divine principle within each of us and the collective consciousness of civilizations. The sacred flame, according to Hall, represents the life force, the essence of spirit, the divine spark that animates human life and consciousness. It is the spiritual principle that gives life its profound meaning and purpose. It's this flame that fuels the rise of civilizations, and its absence or neglect precipitates their decline. Ancient civilizations such as Greece, Rome, and Egypt thrived when they embraced and nurtured this spiritual flame. Their monumental achievements were a testament to the power of the flame. However, when these civilizations allowed moral decay, loss of spiritual wisdom, and neglect of spiritual principles to extinguish the flame, their decline was inevitable. This dynamic interplay between the flame and civilization provides a spiritual lens through which we can view the evolution of human societies. For example, in the Hermetica, Asclepius III, 24:26, in a part known as the Lament of Hermes, a prophecy is shared by Hermes Trismegistus to his pupil describing the end of the Egyptian civilization. The prophecy mentions a great flood and the consuming of malice through fire. I shall now read this passage to further immerse you in this story. Do you not know, Asclepius, that Egypt is an image of heaven, or to be more precise, that everything governed and moved in heaven came down to Egypt and was transferred there? If truth were told, our land is the temple of the whole world. And yet, since it befits the wise to know all things in advance, of this you must not remain ignorant. A time will come when it will appear that the Egyptians paid respect to divinity with faithful mind and painstaking reverence to no purpose. All their holy worship will be disappointed and perish without effect, for divinity will return from earth to heaven, and Egypt will be abandoned. The land that was the seat of reverence will be widowed by the powers and left destitute of their presence. When foreigners occupy the land and territory, not only will reverence fall into neglect, but, even harder, a prohibition under penalty prescribed by law, so-called, will be enacted against reverence, fidelity, and divine worship. Then this most holy land, seat of shrines and temples, will be filled completely with tombs and corpses. O Egypt, Egypt, Of your reverent deeds only stories will survive, and they will be incredible to your children. Only words cut in stone will survive to tell your faithful works, and the Scythian or Indian or some such neighbor barbarian will dwell in Egypt. For divinity goes back to heaven, and all the people will die deserted, as Egypt will be widowed and deserted by God and human. I call to you, most holy river, and I tell your future. A torrent of blood will fill you to the banks, and you will burst over them. Not only will blood pollute your divine waters, but it will also make them break out everywhere, and the number of the entombed will be much larger than the living. Whoever survives will be recognized as Egyptian only by his language. In his actions, he will seem a foreigner. Asclepius, why do you weep? Egypt herself will be persuaded to deeds much wickeder than these, and she will be steeped in evils far worse. A land once holy, most loving of divinity, by reason of her reverence the only land on earth where the Neteru, gods, settled, she who taught holiness and fidelity will be an example of utter unbelief. In their weariness, the people of that time will find the world nothing to wonder at or to worship. This all, a good thing that never had, nor has, nor will have its better, will be endangered. People will find it oppressive and scorn it. They will not cherish this entire world, a work of God beyond compare, a glorious construction, a bounty composed of images in multiform variety, a mechanism for God's will ungrudgingly supporting his work, making a unity of everything that can be honored, praised, and finally loved by those who see it, a multiform accumulation taken as a single thing. They will prefer shadows to light, and they will find death more expedient than life. No one will look up to heaven. The reverent will be thought mad, the irreverent wise. The lunatic will be thought brave, and the scoundrel will be taken for a decent person. Soul and all teachings about soul as I revealed them to you will be considered not simply laughable, but even illusory. But believe me, whoever dedicates himself to reverence of mind will find himself facing a capital penalty. They will establish new laws, new justice. Nothing holy, nothing reverent nor worthy of heaven or heavenly beings will be heard of or believed in the mind. How mournful when the Neteru withdraw from mankind, only the baleful angels remain to mingle with humans, seizing the wretches and driving them to every outrageous crime, war, looting, trickery, and all that is contrary to the nature of souls. Then neither will the earth stand firm nor the sea be sailable. Stars will not cross heaven, nor will the course of the stars stand firm in heaven. Every divine voice will grow mute in enforced silence. The fruits of the earth will rot. The soil will no more be fertile, and the very air will droop in gloomy lethargy. Such will be the old age of the world, irreverence, disorder, disregard for everything good. When all this comes to pass, Asclepius, then God will look on this conduct and these willful crimes, and in an act of will, he will take his stand against the vices and the perversion in everything, righting wrongs, washing away malice in a flood, or consuming it in fire, or ending it by spreading pestilential disease everywhere. Then he will restore the world to its beauty of old, so that the world itself will again seem deserving of worship and wonder, and with constant benedictions and proclamations of praise, the people of that time will honor God who makes and restores so great a work. And this will be the geniture of the world, a reformation of all good things, and a restitution, most holy and most reverent of nature itself, reordered in the course of time, which is and was everlasting and without beginning. For God's will has no beginning. It remains the same, everlasting in its present state. God's nature is deliberation. Will is the supreme goodness. Interesting how everything seems to connect to Egypt and the Hermetic tradition and writings. Now, coming back to the initiates of the flame, Paul introduces us to the guardians of this flame, the initiates, who have renounced worldly distractions to dedicate their lives to protecting and nurturing the sacred flame. These spiritual practitioners, the unsung heroes of humanity's spiritual evolution, perform a critical role in sustaining the spiritual vitality of society. They are the torchbearers of wisdom and enlightenment, guiding humanity through the tumultuous journey of existence. In their selfless service and sacrifice, we find the epitome of spiritual devotion, a model for all who seek to kindle their own divine spark. In his narrative, Paul infuses a sense of divine justice and guidance, steering the course of human history. Even amidst the apparent chaos and tumult, there is an unseen hand that regulates the affairs of humanity. This divine guidance, rooted in the eternal flame or the Spirit of God, is the celestial compass that orients humanity toward its spiritual destiny. The resilience of the flame symbolizes the enduring nature of the spiritual principle. Despite the fall of civilizations, the flame endures, seeking new lands and civilizations to imbue with its divine energy. This is a testament to the indomitable spirit of life, its ability to renew and regenerate itself. It reassures us that even in our darkest moments, the flame within us remains, waiting to be rekindled, guiding us toward a spiritual renaissance. Paul's call for spiritual awakening is a clarion call that resonates with the deepest yearnings of our collective soul. He invites us to recognize and serve the sacred flame within ourselves, to live a life of love, self-sacrifice, and service that fuels the divine spark within. It is through such dedicated service that we can contribute to the luminosity of the eternal flame and ensure its continuity. Paul pays homage to the sons of the flame, the spiritual luminaries from various religious traditions who have walked the path of enlightenment and mastered the sacred flame. These spiritual trailblazers, who range from Orpheus and Hermes to Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, Zoroaster, Confucius, Odin, and Moses, stand as beacons of light, beckoning us to embark on our own journey of spiritual discovery. Finally, Paul's narrative underlines the inherent unity of world religions, all bound by the common thread of worshipping the divine flame. This perspective aligns with the perennial philosophy, which posits that all spiritual and religious traditions are expressions of a universal truth. Regardless of the names by which we recognize the divine, Iswari, Ammon, or God, it is the same universal creator, symbolized by the sacred flame. This perspective emphasizes the interconnectedness of all religious paths, each leading to the same divine light. We, as Hall eloquently puts it, are the flame-born sons of God, sparks from the infinite divine. In our quest for material achievements and progress, we often shroud this divine light with forms of our own creation. However, as students of life and seekers of truth, we can fan this divine spark within us, transforming it into a luminous flame through acts of love and service. As we do so, we reclaim our spiritual heritage, illuminating our path and the world around us. Paul's narrative serves as a reminder that the lower man, the worldly and material self, must bow before the sacred flame, becoming a faithful servant of the higher spiritual self. As we serve the flame, we grow, and our light intensifies, leading us towards our rightful place among the true initiates of the universe, those who have surrendered everything to the infinite in the name of the flame within. Manly P. Hall's Initiates of the Flame is a profound spiritual meditation on the divine flame within all of us and the collective consciousness of civilizations. It offers a compelling blueprint for individual and collective spiritual awakening, emphasizing the pivotal role of spiritual practitioners and the unity of world religions. The eternal flame beckons us all, inviting us to embark on our own spiritual journey, to kindle the divine spark within us, and to take our place in the grand tapestry of the cosmos as luminous bearers of the sacred flame. If you want to delve deeper into the world of ancient wisdom and esotericism, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more insightful videos. And if you want to support my mission to unearth and decipher the forgotten teachings of the ancient mysteries and the encrypted knowledge of Western esotericism, consider becoming a Patreon supporter. Until next time, continue to seek out the light. Hen to Pan.